Hey everybody. So in this video we're going to do some customization and configuration of model driven apps. So we'll start by going into our global solution, and then what we're going to do is we have the account inside our solution. And what I want to do is I want to create a new entity that relates to the account. I really don't know what this entity is supposed to do, but we're just going to kind of play it by ear. So we'll call it, um, account metrics. We'll call it account sales metrics. And we'll give it a plural name. All right, cool. I like it. Let's save it. So we'll wait for this Chrome thing to do its thing. It's better to let it finish instead of click the wait button, believe it or not. I've been clicking the wait button for too many years and I'm not going to click it anymore. One of my colleagues taught me this, to just have patience. So let's just let it do its thing and it'll all be all right. So, what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and create a relationship between the accounts entity and this new entity account sales metric. Um, and then on this account sale metric entity, we're going to create some different values. We'll create like some currency values, things like that. Things that would tell you stuff about that account, basically. So let's create some fields. So we created the out of the box fields, right? Let's create some fields. So let's try um, current year to date sales. And this is going to be a currency field. So we created that. And then let's do uh, previous month sales dollars. We'll also make this a currency field. And then we'll make another one. Previous year sales currency. And then we'll also create another field called current month to date sales dollars. So this is all just conceptual, but it'll be helpful to us as we're working through this. So we've created our entity. So next thing to do is we're going to go ahead and publish the entity. And then from the account level, we're going to create a one-to-many relationship between this entity and that one. How do you do that? Simply just like this. Now, could you do it backwards? Could you do a many to one relationship from the custom entity to the account? Absolutely, you could. but we're not going to. So account sales metric, okay. The display name, remember the primary entity here is account. So we want it to be account ID for the schema name of this thing. So there's our relationship. We've now created a relationship between the account table and we've created a relationship from that table to the account sales metric. Okay. So what's next? Well, the next thing we probably should do is take this form here and add a tab and a subgrid that shows this data so that we can tinker around with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to insert a tab. I'm going to put it over here. Call it account sales metrics. And then I'm going to insert a subgrid here. Account sales metrics. And there you have it. So I have my subgrid in there. Is there any data in that table? No. We just created the entity. But there will be in just a moment. We'll create some data. Okay. So if we go to our account, we just open up one of these and then I do a clear cache. We should be able to see the account sales metrics tab with no data, but we should be able to manipulate it. We should be able to do stuff with it. So let's take a look. Let's see how scalable this could be. So we have account sales metrics. All right. I want to create a new account sales metrics. All right, great. Well, I can only add the name. Well, that's not really going to help me, is it? So what I'm going to do next, and we all run into this, is I'm going to say, okay, fine. I'm going to create a form. Or I'm going to modify the base form. And I'm going to add those parameters that I was interested in recently. So what I'll do is I'll just double click this, double click this, double click this one, double click this one. And so now you've got these fields on here. Publish that. The other thing I'm going to do, since we're talking about customization and configuration model driven apps, is I'm going to update the view. So active account sales metrics needs to have a little bit of TLC. So let's go ahead and give it the columns that we created so that it shows up in a subgrid and it looks decent. So the filter criteria is not what I want to mess around with right now. Actually, I want to tinker with something else. So I want to add columns and I want to add this. I want to add that. I want to add this and I want to add this. And then you just kind of tinker around with the columns so that they look decent, right? Now this one right here is not a column I want. I want current year-to-date sales that are actually not the base currency. Here we go. So let's add that in. Let's update this to 150 pixels. Previous month. All right, previous year. And so there you have it. So there's our view. So then what I'm going to do again is I'm going to publish just this entity. That's the only entity that I interacted with. So let's do that. And so now I have this new form. So imagine that if you knew for your account that um, you had a metric and November sales 2021 was current month to date was, I don't know, 525,000. Current year to date is $1.5 million. And of course, that's not 525,000, is it? There you go. That is. And then previous month sales maybe were, let's just say, 375,000. Previous year sales, we maybe hit 1.25 mil. So we save this record. So then when we go to that account and we look at the sales metrics, you have the November sales 2021, and it's got current month to date sales, current year to date sales, previous month sales, previous year sales. And so you can kind of have a little bit of a snapshot. Now, can these fields be calculated? Can they be rolled up? Can they be rolled up to the account layer? Absolutely. What I'm trying to show you here is the relationality between this table that I just created with some random fields and this account. I have a relationship between these fields and this account. So if I wanted to summarize all these rows, let's say you had 10,000 rows here, and I wanted to summarize that here at the account level, I could certainly do that using roll-up fields. And that's the key of this video. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching.